All right, you're officially live. It's recording, yes. Yep, but that way it's going.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about it.
All right.
How sensitive is the microphone? Because do I need to face it or will it pick it up?
As long as you use a teacher voice.
I will try my best.
Yes.
I do have one.
Yeah.
It's scary mom voice.
It's a scary, either way, they're very comfortable.
Well, I don't
Yes.
have a scary mom voice.
So as long as you speak, I mean, normal like this. It'll be fine. Yes, ma'am.
Some bins in the house that are about this big.
So what?
Bins. They're not just big.
Bids, yes, okay.
They've got shelving in it that don't come out, but they've got like 4 or 5 shelves and 12 hours. But you have to use for them.
Can you send me a picture of them? Like later? Yeah. That way I can see.
Because I think you can slide them together where they'll stack.
Oh, yeah.
So. they're just hanging out there. So,
Yeah, send me a picture of it. Do you have my cell phone number?
yes.
Yeah,
It's in the curriculum, yes, what?
it is. Just text that. Yeah, just text me. That's fine.
Okay. We'll do.
The question is for the teacher. Do you want to be the director? But there are some teachers who are like, absolutely not. And I'm like, you give your number out to like literally anybody.
Well, that's kind of self here for staff.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's what you kind of want.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily. That's a whatever. No, like this. Yep. There you go.
I can't see my work, sorry. We're gonna hang out and wait and see if anyone else shows up for a few more minutes. So if you just want to hang tight, we appreciate it. It's just a little more comfortable that way.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Band parents?
Band parents, you're in the right place.
Okay.
There are some forms here to collect an assign-in sheet. Let me just check with the band board. For all fees, yeah, just not the fee. $500. That band, that goes to That might take.
Unfortunately, that.
Yes, ditto. They just take it. Thank you. Yep.
I would love to see other one just goes.
Do you guys, right? Yeah, I think you could put Concordia, so.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Don't take it to Concordia. Add that picture.
Okay, well, just so it doesn't go to the. Concordia.
I'm filling out papers.
I didn't want to put her on the spot.
Yes, Concordia. Okay, but next time you should have your Okay. No, not mine. I think when I signed on, I didn't sign on for
It's nice, yeah. So wait, until we get to 5 after. She's not.
Okay.
Right now it's just Corey.
Hello, Corey. So, if it's a shower, they don't have prior fundraising. No.
That's an option.
I can get her set.
You should do consent. Okay. If you want to pull on, she'll put them in.
I brought two on.
Lester Shulkel.
You're welcome.
I know, I was just gonna give it like till 6:35. I just had that high hope that we might get, but it's now 6:35, so we'll just get started. So this is being recorded for any parents who aren't able to attend, and it'll be shared, most likely via email. And we just want to say thank you and welcome to everyone who did have the time to be able to attend today, and for those who are watching later. If you are the parent of a student or a family member of a student who is in band, you are part of the Band Parent Organization. So whether or not you knew that, we just wanted to make sure that was all clear. The Band Parent Organization is designed to support the band, the students, and the director. And so if we can come together in a way to volunteer and support each other, that is our goal. So we did just want to quickly approve the minutes from our last Band Parent Organization meeting. However, we did not actually have a sheet of minutes. It was over Zoom, and it was COVID. No,
Secretary.
and we had no secretary. So just for posterity to say, if someone can make a motion to approve those non-existent minutes. Thank you, Becky, or Paul, and someone to second. No, all the people, thank you. Okay.
It's unanimous.
It is, and we may explore as a band parent.
Whatever we said 2 years ago.
Yes, as a band parent organization, we may explore the necessity of having approval of prior minutes because we need to know. All right, and then Michelle is our treasurer, and I am the president of the band. And in a little bit, we are going to vote in our 2 newest members of the band board. So Michelle had a graduate last spring in the band, and still continues to have Sam, who's in 5th grade, and she serves as treasurer. And so she's probably the most important role on the band board, making sure all of the funds are there and that we're able to, yes, ma'am, be able to support the needs of the band. And then as president, I just oversee and make sure everything's getting taken care of. And then I have only a 5th grader this year in band, which is first time ever, Christian. So if you wouldn't mind sharing the treasurer's report, Michelle.
Okay, well, in case, for those of you who don't know, we have 2 accounts. One is our checking account, that's what we pay, instrument rentals, cleaning fees out of. That right now, as in July, had a balance of $10,617.58. We also have our investment account, and that's the account we use to pay for some of the costs of this trip we had last May. After trip costs we paid for and what the market's been doing for a couple of months, it is down to $46,695. So not too bad, but it's not that difficult.
46 what?
695.48.
And if you didn't hear that over Zoom, the checking account for more immediate needs is a little over 10,000, and our investment account for longer term needs is 46,000. Posterity then. So we wanted to spend a little time tonight going through any questions you might have with forms and fees. So we did have a frequently asked questions sheet that was a part of the packet. And wanting to give you a chance, I won't read it off to you, but just to have general time for any questions on those forms or fees. We are required to have a concussion form. So if you have a child who is not currently in sports, you will need to fill out the concussion form for band, because marching is apparently a physical activity enough to qualify for the need for a concussion form. And so make sure that if you have not completed a concussion form for this year, this school year, that you have that done before our first parade. Does anyone happen to have questions on the forms and fees that are showing here?
And just so y'all know, our first parade is September 10th. Need to have those on file before September 10th.
September 10th, we need the concussion form for anyone that doesn't already have one on file for sports.
That's a week from this Saturday.
That's a week from the Saturdays, or 10 days. Okay. So I don't want to spend too much time on hashing out reading every form and the purpose, but making sure everyone's good to go. If anyone does happen to have questions, especially for those who are listening to this as a recording after the fact, please let us know. We'll put in our email with this recording the way to contact the band board members. And I do want to let people know the primary way that we as the board communicate with parents is our Facebook group, which is Concordia Lutheran School Band. You search that name on Facebook, you will find the group, and you will have to ask to be admitted, but it is a public group. So just make that a to-do list item if you can to join that group. And then Mr. Hippel will communicate primarily through the CLS app, so that you'll see notifications come through as they have been this year so far, reminding us about the dates and times of specific events and any details that we need. So wanted to take the next step and vote in our newest board members. And one of them couldn't be here tonight, but we'll do it by proxy, I guess. Yeah, she's out of town at the moment. So Tammy Brown has graciously agreed to be the vice president on the board. So she'll be in a support role, helping assist where needed. And so somebody, do we have to do a motion? Yes, officially. Someone could.
I make the motion.
Thank you, Cora.
I send it back.
Okay. And you're done, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for offering and being willing to serve on this board. It really does mean a lot. And then our second member who couldn't be here tonight is Amanda Norsworthy. And if you haven't met her before, she's actually a homeschool parent. And they just exclusively work with Concordia for band purposes, which is really neat. And so she's out of town. So if someone could just motion for her to be made our secretary, the first and second. Thank you. All good.
Second.
Okay, we got it. All right, so Amanda Norsworthy, hopefully will be able to attend at least virtually in the next few times. All right, so we've got those band members, band board members back in, and I'm really appreciative of that. We do have our forms online, and I put on our agenda, which will go out with this email with the invite of the recording as well. We'll make sure that those are all updated for the 2022-23 version of those forms. So if you weren't here tonight, that will be the place to find them. We'll include that in the email at the CLS Fine Arts website. And then Mr. Hippel has posted the 2022-2023 calendar already with all of the dates that we'll need to know. And just as a parent, I highly recommend that you take the time to sit down once and plug it all in your phone, because I don't know how many times I go, oh, I forgot that was gonna happen, even though it happens every year. Like in March when we have the district contest at the Germantown Middle School. So it's really a good idea to plug those dates and times in ahead of time that are provided for you at the beginning of the year. That way nothing surprises anyone. We do have the September parades coming up. So like Michelle mentioned, the first one is the 10th, and that is the Marigold in Pekin. And so there will be detailed emails and information coming on that. But just as a general overview, I think most people here have been, maybe one, their child has been in a parade before, but we do ask that we have parent volunteers to help walk in the parade, and Chamberlain family has been really gracious and able to drive a specially Concordia painted, is it a golf cart?
Yeah, it's a golf
It's a golf cart to help kind of drag behind the band anything that we might need, like water bottles, or somebody who is marching needs a break, maybe injures themselves. Let's hope that doesn't happen. We've got that. It hasn't happened yet. So it's been a really big blessing to have that as a part. But if you are interested in helping to serve by marching with the students in the parade, we would absolutely welcome that. And then there's something special this year we've not done before. Mr. Heppel had this great idea that we would have a small, what we're calling pop-up concert in the Gym B, the original gym of Concordia, in October on the 21st. And it would be a short pop-up concert, which I think everyone likes to hear that. It will be our intent to have it be a little more casual and cozy feel. So if we can, we're going to work together with possibly one of the churches and get some round tables pulled in and maybe decorate the tables with some light snacks, and have the kids just play 4 songs from the band and 4 songs from the choir, and just have a nice evening together for fellowship and to hear how they're progressing at the beginning of the year. So put that on your calendar as well for Friday, October 21st. All right, so fundraising is something that we do as a way to help support the band, because we are a program that functions independently from the school. All of our finances are separated, so that way we can keep them dedicated for the band, but also that means we need them to be ongoingly supported. And so we've made a few fundraising decisions, but I always like to remind people, if you have an idea or something that you've heard of other people have done, please let us know, because we're always open to hearing new and interesting and successful fundraising ideas. So the first is we're going to take the month of September and sell the Avanti's gondola tickets. We've done that in the past, and I was going to let Michelle say a little bit on that.
Oh, I think a lot of you have done it in the past. It's a really good one for us. Like everything else, the cost has gone up. So now we have to pay $6.50 for them, and we're going to turn around and sell them for $8. On the bright side, the cost for the entire renewal is $8.50. So we are still giving a little bit of discount to it. I have to go over to get the tickets. I'm hoping to start that in about a week.
So look out for some information about that as well. And those will be towards your family's personal fundraising account. And if you haven't heard of this before, the way this works is it's not an individual by name, but it's by family account. And for IRS purposes, it is part of the band general fund, but it is sleeved for each family, so that if you've done some fundraising work, it goes into the band's account with your name on it. And while you are in band, you have a child in band, then those funds are set aside for your family's use. And so those can be used to help offset costs for uniform rental, instrument fees, trip costs, anything that might be incidental to being a part of a band. The only thing it can apply to is the general annual fee to be in the band, which that goes directly through the church office, the school office. So you'll work with Allison to help find out if you want to pay that upfront separately. A lot of you probably have already done that. Fold it into your monthly payment if that's how you go. So it's up to you, but that gets taken care of through the school office. But this family fundraising account, if your child graduates and there are some residual funds in there, folds back into the band. So it's not able to be separated out for your child as they graduate as a tip. just so you know, those funds are great to be able to help save for some of the special things we do. And really looking forward to potentially a little further in the agenda, it talks about the next trip we may take. So just keep that in the back of your mind that if you participate in some of these more personal family fundraising opportunities, those are set aside for your families. So it's a great way to go. We are going to continue to have the ad sales. So each large concert we have, families have the opportunity, not an obligation, but just an opportunity to offer to either individuals or local businesses a ad space in our program. And Mr. Hipple has really taken it up to the digital age, and he's also had it running on basically a PowerPoint before the concert on a large screen, so people can see that business name or that congratulations to my band student, we're so proud of you, whatever it may be. And it's a very affordable amount. It's $25 for a quarter page, $50 for a half page, $100 for a full page ad. So for most businesses, that's an easy, visible thing, especially if they like to work with Christian families. So know that's coming, and we'll repeat that in the spring as well. Something special we're going to test out with the December concerts is to have a bake sale. So this will be a little bit different. We've never done this before, but most of the time, I think the PTC has often brought in some sort of treat at some of the concerts, and we thought it might be a different way to go about it, is to make it a bake sale. So this will just be donations from anyone who's willing to bake something and individually package it, and then we'll be able to keep those proceeds as a general band fundraiser. So if you know how to cook, please bake us something. Then in February, we have our largest fundraiser, which is trivia night. We've done that since, I think, since I've come to Concordia. The Hipples have been in Concordia's band program. This is something Mr. Hipple brought from previous experience, was hosting a trivia night. It's a very low cost, but high impact event where we can help with family fundraising accounts by selling individual tickets to participants of the trivia night. And then we also have mulligans for sale, meaning you get a free answer on every round. That helps go to the general fund, as well as an auction that we have had a lot of generous response to over the years. People donate items, and then we're able to silent auction those off during the trivia event. And that is another general fundraiser for the band. So it's our largest fundraiser each year, and we really love doing it. It's fun. There's free popcorn and soda. It's just it's a great community time for fellowship. And then March 14th, is that a confirmed date? No. Okay, so that's a save the date at the moment. It could be flexible depending on Pizza Ranch's availability. We're still waiting to hear back from them. But Pizza Ranch was a fundraiser opportunity that we had used prior to COVID when people were going to restaurants. And it was very helpful to have the student families come out and wait tables and clean plates. And then they let, I think it's 10% or 15%. It's a good amount. 10%, I think, is the correct number, but a percentage of the sales go towards the group that was volunteering that evening. And then you can also put out baskets for tips. And so that is really where the majority of the funds actually. They generated. Yes. They know those dishes, yes, it's true. And it is a buffet style. So it's a come and go as you please, and it's a nice family evening for people. So we'll have some more information on that because it's not for quite a few more months. Any questions on the fundraising outlook for this year? Okay. So next school year, think about it, 2023 to 2024 would be the next opportunity for our band to take a trip. We're on a biannual schedule. So we took a trip this past May, I think what the date was. It's on the chart somewhere. Thank you, May 13th.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the opportunity to participate in a band competition that there's a sit-down performance and a marching performance down in Eureka, Missouri, near the Six Flags St. Louis facility. And it was a really fun weekend. the families got a chance to spend a lot of quality time together, and the band students got a chance to compete in something a lot larger and more competitive than they typically would have. They just stayed right around Central Illinois. And so it was a really neat experience. We are looking ahead to 2024 with the hopes that we could move back into a DC track. So if you were unaware, Concordia has had a long tradition of sending the band to Washington, DC every 4 years. And with COVID, it really put a stop to our ability to head to DC. We had tried for, I think, 3 years. We had to delay a year just for the size of the band. We thought it'd be better for them to have another year to grow and mature. But then COVID hit, and then we weren't really sure how even in 2021 things were progressing. So the vaccines weren't quite there yet. So there wasn't enough solid confidence that we could make it and make that trip happen. So it's been delayed multiple times. So our hope is to go back to DC in that 2024 trip. And so it would be really fantastic for the band and even potentially require to attend that as well. So, Mr. Hipple does have some band interested students and families that are checking out instruments currently. So he was meant to have a maestro minute, but he's not here. So it'll be a really short minute. But I know he likes to reiterate often the purpose of band and the importance of music in children's lives. So I think everyone, hopefully through here, knew that already. But just know that he's very passionate about what he does and always wants to make the kids have that lifelong learning and love of music. So I'm just hoping they all have that experience as a part of the band. So are there any questions at all? Mostly returning.
In the past, you guys have done, grades.
I'll check with Mr. Hipple.
I would assume people would do that.
Yeah, if we could make a note of, if there is going to be a sign up, it will be organized quickly since we only have 10 days. But definitely we want to make it as easy as possible for people. And just in regards to the parade setups, every parade is different, but you know, where do I park and where does my child go? And all those questions you might have, if it's not answered in any communication that comes out in the next week or so to help us through this parade process, please let us know. And we do have on our frequently asked questions all of our contact information, except for Amanda's. I didn't get confirmation it was okay to share that yet. She did share it, but after we'd already printed it. So I'll add it on the digital copy. But we have our band parents email, the CLS Band Parents at ConcordiaPeoria.com. So that's another way to get a hold of us if you don't want to go direct to one person, just to the organization itself.
No buses, we're just driving ourselves again to the parades.
Correct, yes. Just taking each child, or if you like to carpool, I would highly recommend that because some of the areas are a little tricky to navigate. Pekin has a lot of one-way areas and getting to the right place at the right time. So Mr. Hipple's good about putting out specific, I would almost say like pictorial versions of this is what the area will look like for here. Let me make a little drawing here, you know, arrow. Same.
Somebody comes speaking, I still get lost, even with that.
I only found it because there's not four at the golf cart.
Oh, there's Laura. Yes. So I would recommend as well, besides adding all those dates into your calendar, if you're thinking of it now, if you have a moment, add those contacts, emails, and cell phone numbers if you don't already have ours into your phone. And that way, if you do have a question, we'll be available. We'll be looking out for those types of requests, like where are we during the parade event. That way we can make sure everyone finds where they need to go. So there's nothing more stressful than your poor kids, your first parade, and they're trying to find where are we supposed to go. And in Morton specifically, they're very strict on where you are able to drive on the Pumpkin Festival parade route and where you are able to park. So just allow yourself plenty of time to get ready to go.
And if there's anybody by chance that has not downloaded the app,
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you download the app. I know you said that already, but I know
Say it
like
again.
when he steps off, he'll say, we're stepping up. It could be entry number 175 out of 300 or something. So
Yes.
then you know, okay, is that my band? Is that my band? But also then when we're done, he'll say, make sure you come get your kids, because I'm not taking them home with me. So that you know where to pick them up.
Correct. And they are wearing their full uniforms, I believe. Is it the first band or are they not? No, they're not. I'm sorry. We're wearing their t-shirts. He's making specific t-shirts. Now I remember.
Yes.
Thank you.
I know that, yeah.
Your panic-stricken face told me, no, that was incorrect.
I was like, wait, what? I thought we were.
No, you're right, you're right.
The uniform flag is not going up yet.
Okay. And that is a specific point I did want to make, because this is all parent volunteers. I know several years in a row, Becky has volunteered to help lead the uniform team. If you have a spare hour at any point to be able to donate to the band parents, helping with kids get set with their uniforms fitted, especially if you're available during the school day, that's when they get fitted. They get a quick minute where they say, try this on. Does that fit? Okay, no, try this on. And that will come a little closer to the Santa Claus parade and the day after Thanksgiving. But just know that if you have some time to volunteer, or if you are interested in being a part of the team to help with the trivia night, those larger events would really appreciate more hands on deck. We will not say no to anyone. As you may see on the frequently asked questions, do we want volunteers? Yes. We are all volunteers. Any other questions?
Water bottles.
I would say yes, yeah, bringing water bottles is a must.
I think that works fine. Yeah.
I know at one point, we asked for water donations, so I just want to make sure.
I think we've been using the Gatorade and just say and then squirt.
Yeah, I think
For the
we
kids
did
that
work
get
before
bored.
COVID, but since COVID, everybody.
They all had their own water bottle.
Okay.
We all had them in the golf
And they
cart,
ride
and we
with all-
just.
And then we had a pack of water, and we ran out. Who needs water?
Okay, so we do want specific donations of water bottles. that
Well,
are
I think each
individual.
kid brings their own water bottle to
Okay.
the parade, and then it rides in the golf cart and some tubs.
I think they had like a pack of
But
water.
then I think we did have a cooler of water for afterwards, so every kid can have a cold water when they're done.
We'll put some information into the parade information. That way no one's confused about, was I supposed to do X, Y, Z?
I would say plan on your kid having their own water bottle for the parade. And
Label.
And
Yes.
label.
Yes.
Asking paper.
And look for a request to have a couple cases of water donated for the parades.
Okay, all right, fantastic. And we may have a maestro. Possibly. We'll see if that- Okay. I was hoping, I saw a few parents come out, and we might have directors come through.
Yeah, we're leaving down talking about this.
I'm sorry.
He said he's ready, but I'm not ready.
Okay, well, in that case, if he's not available to come out, have a.
Oh, he is.
All right, so having a quick moment with Mr. Hippel, he wanted to add his brief thought. Maestro minutes. No.
Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for being online. Last year was quite a hectic year. We had the perfect storm of excellent instrumentation, great eighth graders as leaders, and because of that, we were able to do some extraordinary things. Like the band qualified and went to state contest, which doesn't always happen. I mean, that's super awesome. We also had our St. Louis trip, which is sort of extraordinary. We don't take a trip every year like that. So this year should be a little bit more tame, a little bit less crazy, I think, hopefully. But we're still looking to do some great things. Our theme is movie mania, so we're doing a lot of composer study, movie composers. We're going to be doing movie music in every concert we do. We do have a fall concert for the upper band and upper choir this year. A short, did you talk about that?
We did.
Okay, yeah. So I'm pretty excited to try that.
Emphasis on the short.
Yeah. The biggest thing was the impetus for it was the fact that the choir didn't have a formal concert until late December. So they literally went 5 months of practicing for. I feel that performance really is where the fun happens. That's where the excitement is. Sitting down and practicing your instrument isn't necessarily the fun stuff. It's actually getting out and playing your instrument. So I thought, let's have a little fun thing in the fall. We'll do a little something, and I think it'll work out well. So, yeah.
Spencer said something about maybe have that outside.
Well, we're considering it. It kind of just depends on the weather. If it's nice out, we have the option of coming out to the what we call the South Lawn, right? The Rose Garden. No, it is actually the South Lawn right out here. But we have the small gym reserved, basically, so I don't have to set up tarps and chairs. Right?
So we can create an experience for the families too.
Yes, or as a secondary option, it kind of depends on the weather. If it's nice out, if we're having super pleasant weather, that'd be fun to maybe try having an outdoor little venue. Again, we're just trying something new and different. Short concert, 3 pieces, maybe each, just the top band and top choir. So. Some horse divorce, little snack foods, tables where people could sit, instead of just rows of chairs, sitting there stodging. So, yeah. Yep.
Another thing I had was closing prayer. We already answered all the questions, unless there were new ones.
I just wanted to, know,
Working on it. Yep. I'm in conversation with the company. So.
just want to make sure that it's
No, you don't.
like my son chugged it in his bag.
Right, I've asked every day. I'm like,
Surprise,
"You're
here it
supposed to
is."
be wearing t-shirts, it's great, where is it?
So we'll be sending out an email with the recording and everything in a digital form so that if someone missed the meeting, that they can still be able to view this, hear about the band, and get their forms and some information about the parades as well.
Yeah, double check, don't be afraid to double check our finance webpage. I'll send out the link to that. There are specific pages that I encourage the kids to use that have recordings that they can listen to, play alongs. It has the weekly or the monthly calendars are posted up there. If you ever want to see another copy of the monthly calendar, event and lesson calendar. There is a section for Band Parents Organization, a BPO section, which we need to update, I think, with some, maybe make double check that our forms are up. But I'll be posting this video, if you want to go back and look at anything there as well. So.
You wouldn't mind leading us in the closing prayer?
Sure. Hold your hands, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the gift of music, the gift of music that our kids have the opportunity to use and learn and grow, a way of expressing themselves, a way of giving praise. Like our theme says, all of creation, the mountains, the hills, the valleys, the leaves on the trees, all lift our praise to you, Lord, for your greatness and your goodness, and help our kids to use their gifts and talents to serve you and to serve others, to share the gospel message in all that they do musically. Bless us this year. Thank you for our band parent leaders, and bless them as they find ways to make our program great. We ask, Lord, that you would just be with us this night as we go from here, and bless us with a great weekend. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Well, thank you. If anybody has the time to sit down and take these, the forms, we'll be happy to do that, and then you can check that right off the list.
Take your money.
Thanks for coming, guys. I'm gonna log out. Bye.
There you go.
I think I have.
And then this